Come join Tony's outdoor life with Barney by his side. Deep in the woods with the country life and nature as their guide. Building a camp to lay down their heads or a hammock for a bed. Looking at the stars as they fall to sleep in the place where muntjacs tread. Sleep beneath the oak or the willow trees, a fire for warmth and light the dark. Made with some bark or fat wood found, ferro rod to make a spark. Once upon a time in Tony's outdoor life, the woodland called out the name. The animals howled and the muntjacs barked, excited that he came. Tony's outdoor life, find him on YouTube, cooking something tasty and real good. Sleeping in a hammock, listen to the birds and eating all that lovely food. So come join Tony's outdoor life in nature at its best. Listen to the wind through the trees, listen to the birds singing, listen to the buzz of the bees, building a campfire using bark of trees.
Well, good afternoon everybody. As you may know, I'm doing the Peddars Way in, what is it today? 4 days time. So I thought it'd be a good opportunity to go through my bag, show you what I'm planning to take, and this is going to be self-sufficient for 4 days. Except for water. Obviously I've got to top up water along the way, but I thought, yeah, why not, let's go through the bag, let's just show what I've got here, and then if there's anything that needs to change, perhaps people can give me some advice, because it's the first time I've done anything like this. So first of all, it's the Atmos 65 AG, Atmos AG 65 pack. Absolutely fantastic pack, fantastic reviews online. I was looking at the Ether as well, but I decided to go for this one. It's managed to get everything in it that I need, and I've tried to go as light as I can, but it is still quite a weight. But that's got food and water in as well. Okay, so let's start off with the outside. So obviously I've got trekking poles there. Let's get the trekking poles out. Yeah, so they're not the lightest in the world, but they're not the heaviest either. They're called Underwood aggregators, so we'll give them a go. If I get serious about this hiking, I'll probably go for some really lightweight ones, but these are fine. So then we look in the front then, and in here I've got a sit mat. I've got a waterproof jacket there. It came from Mountain Warehouse. It is very waterproof in the rain that I've tested it in so far. I don't know what it'd be like for continual heavy downpours. Hopefully I won't get that anyway. Also in here I've got some waterproof trousers. These are made by Gellert. They've got a zip up, I don't know, probably about 8 inches up the leg, and it has got popper fasteners at the bottom as well. Hopefully, again, I won't be needing them. And then also in the front I've got some gaiters as well. These are just Carrymore ones from Sports Direct. we'll give them a go, see what they're like. So that's all I've got in the front actually. Then the side pockets I've got, and they're quite tight as well, so quite good pockets, quite elasticated. I've got a litre of water there, and there's also a litre of water this side, and I've also got in the side some drinking water as well, and that is pretty much all I've got in the side pockets. So if we then move to the brains, let's unclip that. I've just put a little tiny bungee on the top there in case I just want to quickly whip something in the top there. But we will look at this next. Okay, so what have we got in here? It's surprising how much you can fit in these actually. So I've got a little alcohol stove in there and a BCB burner and a little bit of fuel just as a backup to my gas. I've got a pair of gloves, and these are from Decathlon, the 4-class ones, and they're very good because you can still use LCD screens with those gloves. Also I've got a magic carpet in there just if I want a little bit of shelter, more shelter. A mosquito net. I don't think I'm going to need a mosquito net, but it's not heavy, don't take up any space. So, and then anticipating cold weather, I've got a hat, a beanie hat, snood and a pair of gloves. That's for if it's cold. In here I've got my toilet roll, shovel, you know what that's for. Got a couple of packets of hand warmers, so if it's cold at night I can shove them down the sleeping bag. Got my brew kit there. There's plenty of coffees and warm drinks in there. I've then got my medical box, or first aid kit if you like. That's got tick tweezers in there as well. It's got some paracetamols, foil blanket and some plasters, and some compeeds as well. I've got a possibles pouch, and in this there isn't a great deal, but I've got things like my soil water filter, spare lighter. I've put a little bit of power cord in there as well. I've got a little tiny saw in there as well. Now some people might say, well, why don't you take a Swiss Army knife? But I'm taking that and one other knife, an open knife. But then in here, that's just an emergency kit, so I've got everything in there to start a fire and give attention to myself basically. And that's all that's in that pocket. In the top pocket I've got a little I don't know what you call that, rag to wipe the inside of the tent when there's condensation, and I've also got my shamar as well. I take that everywhere with me because it can go around a pillow and it just gives you that little extra bit of comfort. I might take that out, depending how I get on with weight, because I'm going to go through this one more time and see where I can shave a little bit of weight off. So now we're going to go into the main section of the bag. I've got a down jacket in there, forms part of my layering system, and I'll talk about that at the end. I've got my food bag in here. So in there is enough food to last me for 3 days or 3 nights, but I also need to have some snacks and that to add to that. Inside here I've got the Lanshan 2. I've put it inside a dry bag just in case I wanted to put it on the outside of the pack, but effectively it's in the dry bag. What's next? Right, in here we've got my wash kit. So in here I've got a small towel, microfiber towel, and then there's a packet of wet wipes in there. There's a bit of soap. There's a bit of washing up liquid in there as well, and a sponge. Teeth cleaning. I've got a bit of Vaseline in there for my feet. Toothpaste. I've even put a little bit of deodorant in there as well. So when you're getting on a bus or something, when you're coming back, you don't want to be stinking for the other passengers on the bus. Put that back inside there. Okay. Next we've got my electrics. So in there it's just things like my pump for my bed and light for inside the tent, and also a head torch. I've got my cook kit, basically a pot with a lid. There's a bottle of gas in there, and there's a stove, a little stove in there as well. Nothing spectacular. I was toying with the idea of taking like a jet boil type stove with me, but I decided on this one in the end. I've got my bed, which I've not actually used this yet. I have put it up and tested it, make sure there's no holes and things in it. I left it up for a while to make sure it didn't go down. I laid on it. It's made by Light Tour, and it's got a really good R rating of 7.5. I think it's 7.5 or 7.2, one of the two, but it's a good R rating nevertheless. I've got a pillow. This is just one of the A-Loft pillows, but I love those pillows. And I've also put in a small adventure bivvy bag by Gellert, just in case there's too much condensation in the tent, and I can always put my sleeping bag inside that just to keep me dry. And I've got my clothes. So in here I'm not taking much really. I'm taking one spare t-shirt, one spare pair of pants, one pair of socks, and I've also got a waterproof pair of socks in there as well. I've also got a hoodie, a sunshine hoodie, or whatever you call them. Basically they're a t-shirt with long sleeves, save you getting a sunburn. Be nice if we have that sort of sunshine, to be fair. Now I've got another clothes bag as well, but this is more bedtime clothes. So in here I've probably gone overboard with the size of bags, to be honest, but they're the only ones I've got. So in here I've just got a pair of long johns and a top and a pair of socks to wear inside my sleeping bag to keep me warm. And then finally, well no, it's not finally actually, got my sleeping bag. This is one of the Quasar, I think that's how you say it. It's one of the Quasar ones, and it is a 3-season bag. We are still in spring, and I think it still gets cold at night, so it's worthwhile doing that. And I've put that inside a dry bag as well. I've also got a silver foil to put underneath my airbed. And to be honest, that is pretty much everything. So it's not a great deal really. In terms of my layering system, basically I've got a wicking t-shirt which I'll be wearing. I've then got a mid layer which is like a thin fleece. I've then got the down jacket, and I've then got a waterproof jacket. So I've got sort of a four layer system. I think that should cover me for most eventualities. Yeah, so that's basically what I'm taking on this walk. I'm planning to go on Monday, and I'm hoping it's going to take me 3, possibly 4 days to do the walk. Basically I'm going to be driving to Ely Station, and I'm going to park up at Ely Station. I've got a train ticket then from Ely to Thetford. I'll then get a taxi from Thetford Station to Nethershall Heath, do the walk, and then finally I'll make my way from Hunstanton, around that area, down to Kings Lynn, and then Kings Lynn I'll get a train back to Ely where I can get my van and then drive home again. So hoping it all goes to plan. The only worry I've got is water. Now I know water is is plentiful, but there is a long section of the Peddars Way where it is very difficult to get water, and that is literally the only thing that is worrying me about this walk. But the food that I'm taking is wet food. Where's my food bank? Is wet food. So I've got an all-day breakfast by Wayfarer. I was going to do my own in mylar bags, but I thought for the first time doing this myself, I'll use that. But I'm also trying some by a company called Shake That Weight. I've seen some reviews of these online and they seem to be quite good, so I thought I'd give them a go as well. And porridges as well. Now, the reason I'm taking wet food is because if I took dry food, I would be using my water. What is that going over? So it's like a little light aircraft, but it's not much bigger than a blooming remote control one by the looks of it. Now somebody's having fun anyway. So yeah, the reason I'm not taking dry food is because dry food you need water. And my theory is that yes, these wet ones are a bit heavier, but the dry ones are going to be just as heavy if you have to carry a bit more water in order to have to make those meals. I don't know if my theory is right or wrong, that's just my theory. Not only that, I can use water to boil in the bag, and then I can use that water to make a drink. I could even empty the bag into a pan and boil it up using my gas. So that's what I'm doing for this first sort of walk of this nature that I've done. Hopefully I'll manage water correctly, and and everything will go as my schedule. I don't want to be against the clock. However, I have got a train booked for the last day, but that train is for any time that day, so that sort of gives me a nice window. So yeah, I mean, if there's anything you think that I could lighten or take out of this or add to it, if there's anything you think that I've forgotten, please leave a message in the comments. I will be filming it, so it will be going up onto YouTube once it's been edited, and we can go from there. But appreciate you watching. Hopefully you will watch the video when it comes out. If you like what I'm doing, please click on subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and thank you very much to all them that already have subscribed. I really do appreciate that. So yeah, until the next time then, stay safe out there.
Camp in the woods where the animals roam. I knew a river with gates and locks, watching the world from the river's edge. No time for time or clocks. Paddling the river upstream or down, or lighting fires to cook up some food. Warmth from the fire that flickers and lights up the dark of the woods. Building the camp to keep out the cold or shelter from the pouring rain. Nature rules this wonderful land, and nature cannot be tamed. Having Barney to walk by your side, adventures to have and to share. Woods or forest, rivers or lakes, and anywhere that we dare. So come join Tony's outdoor life, out in the woods and the countryside. Enjoy the seasons changing the land. Enjoy a camp to sleep, rest, and hide.